Hey YouTube, so man, I just went on the streak now that I think about it. I just thought about it. I just read three books right in a row. I mean, all of them were relatively short, being, just around 100 pages. One was 70, the other one was 100, and the next one was 100. So they were all relatively short, but still, that's a good amount of knowledge that I just gained, and just like that. But this is just one of the books. I'm just gonna cover one of the books because, of course, I got time to make these videos, but I feel like I enjoy the reading process more. I still like talking about these videos, especially after just learning what I've read. So we're gonna go. I don't know if I specifically want to answer the questions anymore, but I read in the book that answering the questions after you're done reading instead of just giving a report on is it is better with keeping the material in your hippocampus. So hey, we might just go back to answering the questions. So question number one: what is this book about? And this book is basically just about the enhancement and dehancement at the same time of your brain and the nervous system. So the main way that sorry, let me announce number two since I said number one. What did the book talk about? What is being said in detail specifically? And I could just tell you the key parts that I remember from the book. And the cool facts that I remember. Not necessarily cool. Well, I don't think it's cool, but it's good to have this knowledge that at 16 years old, which is my age, I'm 16 years old. At 16 years old, the brain is basically almost pretty much is done growing, which I don't know how to feel about that. I feel kind of good. I feel like I've got a good base for how my brain health. So yeah, I feel like I've got a good base. Reading extensively for a few months, that's definitely boosted me, especially with the exercising and eating healthy, of course. So I'm pretty sure I have a good base for the rest of my life. So that's something cool. And the next part, which is basically how the neuroplasticity, how everything starts, is with the synapses being created. So with that, the dendrites and axons, they don't basically they together they cannot cling to each other. So the synapse does it for them. So think of a road. Well, I mean, I'm doing everything with my hands, but you can't see it. A dendrite, have your hands right in front of you. The left is the dendrite, and the right is the axon. And the synapse is in front of them, linking them like a road. That's what I was trying to say. And it's linking them like a road. So that's basically how we learn things and things of the such. So the next part that I thought was cool, and I can't even say I mentioned the questions based on what is being said in detail, but synaptic pruning. Synaptic pruning. We can talk about that next since I just mentioned synapses. So if basically if you don't use a skill for a certain amount of time, you won't lose it fully, but you'll lose it substantially. Like if for instance the best pianist in the world right now stopped playing for 10 years, when he came back he would still be good, but just not on a professional level. Actually, he might still be on a professional level if he's actually like that right now, but it won't be substantial. It won't be like the he just won't be the same, basically, is what I'm telling you. So we can lose things with synaptic pruning, which is basically the process of synapses just pretty much just dying almost, because they don't die fully. Some of them do, and that's what happens. Some of them do, but just because you've been doing the thing, because to get to that level, it's almost mastery. Well, if he's the best in the world, I'm pretty sure he is a master. He or she. And now on the topic of pianists, because I brought that up because I was thinking they mentioned that people who do the piano have more have a better brain, and I thought of me because they mentioned keyboards, and I thought, hey, I type almost 100 words per minute. Like maybe I got, maybe my brain is healthy from that. So that's a question I have. And if you know the answer, you could tell me. Is my brain better because I know how to type quickly? And I'll type with home row, 10 fingers. 10 fingers, let me see. Yes, I'll type with 10 fingers. And with relatively, well, my accuracy varies depending on what I'm trying to do. But I would say relatively good accuracy. But the next part of the book that I want to talk about is with Parenthood. And this is something that it's weird. For some reason, I guess this is a reoccurring topic. This is the second book I've been reading about parenthood. Actually, the third in the past few days. It's weird. It's like I'm reading for the future, especially with me reading about college. It's like I'm just reading for the future. That's kind of weird. But with parenthood, that's another time when our brain goes through changes. Oh, when I say that now, the changes from a child. No, I'll talk about it in another book because I actually read a book specifically on that. So I'll talk about that in another book where I'll do a video on. But through parenthood, we, the parents, I should say, also go through changes such as, you know, new neurons and new synapses are being created, and also through their hormones, which are released through, of course, the HPA. And the reason I've read the hormones are released is just because you smell the baby, and the more around the baby you are, like the more your hormones change, which is kind of weird. But for men, for instance, for men, they lose some of their testosterone. Or if they don't lose their testosterone, they just gain more estrogen. Which the theory behind that is in the past, that's pretty, again, that's a pretty vague thing to say in the past, but when humans weren't modernized, I can say that. When we weren't modernized and I don't want to say necessarily out in the wild, but maybe in just early agricultural days or even medieval days, honestly. Yeah, I'm pretty sure even medieval days, like, yes, even medieval days, there was famine. So, if you don't know what famine is, well, I'm pretty sure everyone knows what it is, honestly. But basically, it's just a lack of food, and a lack of, I don't know if it's also a lack of supplies, but a lack of food and water. So, with famine, the male body, when we produce estrogen, as in men, when we produce estrogen, our body fat goes up. And that happens simply because estrogen, the estrogen is needed because when you're pregnant, again, man, I'm giving like a whole hormone lesson. Because when estrogen is needed in women because when they go through pregnancy, they need the extra food for the baby. So or extra nutrients, I should say, not necessarily food. So they need the extra nutrients for the baby, and that also occurs in males because they think, okay, I just had a baby, so there's a chance that we might be eating less food now because of the baby. So that's also a cool thing that happens pretty much instinctively because, I don't think men want to lose their testosterone, especially since there's pretty much, I don't want to say there's no benefits to having estrogen because, I know estrogen is needed in order to have a good libido, but, I'm pretty sure people want a little more testosterone, especially being, trying to, I don't know, just have a little more testosterone. Well, I'm pretty sure I'm just going off of stereotypes here because the bodybuilders are supposed to be testosteroned up. So hey, I don't know if testosterone is actually that good, but I know human growth hormone, which I'm not sure if that's the type of testosterone or if that is just released throughout the body. But human growth hormone, I know that aids in recovery, and we receive this through sleep. So I learned this from reading my books on sleep. So basically, human growth hormone, it just helps you grow anywhere and everywhere. If you want to grow hair, human growth hormone. If you want to get bigger muscles, human growth hormone. So that's the cool thing, and I think that's also kind of in a sense what testosterone does, except it flails off within the last few years of our lives. Well, old years of our lives, like someone could die young right now, regretfully, and not have and still have high testosterone. Man, I just went on a whole tangent there. So next part about neuroplasticity is, man, I think that's the video. Honestly, that was pretty good. Wait, no, I forgot. I'm answering the questions now. So number three, is the book true? And yeah, it's true. It was a pretty good nonfiction expository read. It was a pretty good. Yeah, there's another thing I wanted to add actually about neuroplasticity. Just being in a good environment. And that's by good I mean like enriched in a sense that you're being cognitively stimulated and you're not brain dead. And by brain dead, that's like the example they showed was watching a movie. You know, watching a movie for 3 hours, it puts no strain on your visual cortex, your occipital lobe, simply because everything is being projected to you, versus maybe reading a book or listening to an audiobook, which that kind of just boosts my confirmation bias because I like reading books, but I feel like I will have no problem watching a movie. Like for instance, I'll listen to a lecture. Wait, that counts as listening. Okay, that part didn't count. That part didn't count. So, I used to like a TV show called The Last Kingdom, and I was planning on reading the books for it, but I don't know. I just never read them, and I still have all the books. Not all the books. Just I'm pretty sure the first eight, which I'm pretty sure that's where they left off, if I remember correctly. But you know, I will have no problem watching that the season when the season 5 comes out or season 4. I'm not too I'm not too caught up on the news about it. When the next season comes out. So, the end of this, almost the end of the video. What's the meaning of this book? I think just with neuroplasticity and the title in and of itself and the what the book is about, it's that we can change no matter our age. And this is also something that I feel like I've been preaching through this channel is that you can change whenever you want. All you have to do is all you have to do is change. And when I say this to myself, I realize that I can change too. There's some things like I've learned in this book that I could actually use in my real life, and I've been contemplating on this topic for a while now, and I think I might go with it honestly. I'll see where it goes, and obviously this talk right now it's not really directed towards you, but you know you can change too, bro. That's what I'm telling you. You as the viewer, you can change too, for the good and also for the good. This neuroplasticity.